Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. I'm grinning from ear to ear today. I really am literally grinning from ear to ear today. It is just a wonderful time to be alive. I am telling you, listen, y'all, First of all, where are my manners? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and it's Friday. And what a week. Oh my goodness. We had to have plumbers in our house. There was oh my goodness. Do not use your garbage disposal like just put anything in there. They had to cut open a big strip of pipe, and there was all this calcified stuff. It was just gross. Anyway, so we had all that going on. You guys know for the last 3 days, and I'm going to show you a clip. Well, 3 years ago, I went to London and I did my own masterclass. I filmed my own masterclass. It has done wonderful things for me. It was #1 in the UK for 9 months. And then last year, I think it was around, I don't know, sometime in the first quarter of 2022, I said, my coaching clients are so phenomenal. They're doing big, big things, every single one of them. And I started asking them like, hey, if you had your own masterclass, what would you do with it? And so many of them raised their hands and said, I know exactly what I would do with it. So I started another branch of my world, another business called Legacy Builders Masterclasses. And yesterday, attorney Jen Mitchell wrapped up her masterclass, 3 days of filming. It was probably 38 hours, I think, total. And so when I did my masterclass, before I stood up, when it was all finished, they were like, stop, don't stand up, don't break the plane. We got to ask you one more question. And I was like, okay. And they're like, Lauren, how was it? And that's when it hit me. And so I remembered to do that with Jen yesterday. And I wanted to share just that little piece. Then we'll get our guest in here. So she was just finished. And this is just 1 minute of what she had to say. You can see the full 4 minutes on all of my social media. Take a look at this. It was just incredible. So okay, are we back? Yesterday, I had to do the show on my telephone, remember? Because the internet here in Chicago is just on some real messed up stuff. So we're going to try that one more time. See, when things that don't serve us start to come in, I'm like, back up. Seriously, you are not getting in here today. We're going to do this again. I'm going to share it again. Everybody send all your powerful energy. Send it right now, okay? Because I want you to see this. One more try. Let's do this again. Here we go. Okay. Share the screen. Which one do I have to do? Is it this one? Okay, wait a minute. Stop. Okay, wait. Present. Okay. There we go. Okay, here we go. Take a look. And play. So, you did it. Over here, it's me.
We did it.
How was it for you? Seriously.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, right now in this moment.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that we're done. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to both of you. This has been a very long journey. And I feel like everything that I wanted to get out is out. And I'm so excited for it to be shared with the world. Because I know that it's going to help people. I know it's going to heal people. And for me, I'm just, oh my gosh, it's odd. I feel like all of a sudden very light. I don't have this here anymore because I've been thinking about this, like truly, I've been thinking about this since 2020 is when I won the mastermind. 2020.
So there it is. And listen, I just want to say this to anyone who is listening, who is dedicated to changing this world, to easing suffering in this world. I want you to know that you can do this. You definitely can do this. And so don't give up. Keep going. What I love about these master classes, I believe every one of us that has mastered anything deserves a master class. It is literally a time capsule to keep all of the things that you have worked so hard to leave in this world so that when we're gone, it is still here helping people find their highest selves. If you want to know more about Legacy Builders, master classes, or coaching with me to help take you to the next level, reach out to me. When one of us wins, we all win. Can I get an amen? Okay, there you go. I'm going to kick it off. So today I have a young lady from Canada. Oh, Canada. I have 4 coaching clients in Canada, and I love them all. I just do. My very first international speaking opportunity was in Toronto. And Canada holds a special place right here for me. Real quick, good morning to all you beautiful people. I see you. Thank you for coming in. I know it's Friday, and I know we all get here late, but we're here today. So today's guest is ALKA SHARMA. She lives in Toronto, like I said. She's a real estate investor, a podcast host, and she's also an award-winning author. She has a book entitled From Cocoon to CEO. And I watched a butterfly emerge from a cocoon on a reel this morning, and I didn't even know she had this book called Cocoon to CEO. There it is, right? So real quick before we get in here, that's the bell of purpose. I'll ring it every time some truth is on the table because I don't want you to forget that just like that bell has a ring to it. That's right. So does the truth. And welcome to the show, my sidekick, Miss Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. She's been here all 7 years. I missed you yesterday. We couldn't use the dishwasher or anything for 4 days. So there was like dishes from the rooter to the tutor in there. I was up early today getting everything back to the way it should be. I'm very particular that way. So you guys, this is ALKA SHARMA's first name. You know, she's got one of those names where I have to say both names. I can't just say ALKA. I have to say ALKA SHARMA. You know what I mean? It's like you always just say John Block. That's another one of my friends. You never just say John. You always say John Block. So anyway, ALKA SHARMA's here. Don't you love her name? It sounds spiritual to me. We're going to talk about that. So I want you to welcome her. Let's welcome her. Put some hearts on the screen. It's our virtual way of saying welcome. Rolling out the red carpet, standing to our feet. It's free, it's painless, and it makes everybody feel oh so good. So here she comes, ALKA SHARMA. Get ready. Morning.
Good morning, Lauren. Thank you for having me. It's amazing.
Thanks for being here. And I just want, oh, my phone stand is still in my bag from the studio. So I'll just have to look at it down there. Listen, I want to get started. I know where I want to go with you today. Because we have so many people on the show who are entrepreneurs. And they are successful entrepreneurs, and they reach a certain level, but then they start doing these other things like speaking on stages, retreats, masterminds, writing a book, because suddenly they feel this universal pull. They feel this need to help other people find what they have.
Right.
And that a lot of them say, admittedly so, that they weren't looking to do that, or they didn't know that they would end up doing some of the things they do today. Back when they started, they were just laser focused on, in your case, being a real estate investor. So why don't you start by, I'm going to dip out for a second and let you just start with the audience, kind of fill in the blanks, things I didn't tell. Like for instance, she has a really hot boyfriend in the other room. I saw him earlier. He had to come in and help with the tech issues, and just fill it in. Start with your own vibe, create your own vibe, and then I'll come in and we're going to start with your origin story, because I have a feeling if people knew some of the speed bumps that you had to overcome, they might be surprised. And none of that is in your bio, but I can feel it. So we're going to go there if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. So take it away. Say hello, create your own vibe, and I'll come back.
Perfect.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Well, hello, everyone. It's just so nice to be everyone, and just really get to meet you all. So, as a lot, Dr. Michael has introduced, my name is ALKA SHARMA, and I didn't know that I wanted to write a book. So sometimes, as Lauren had mentioned, sometimes we don't know what that path looks like and how we're going to achieve what we want. So for me, writing a book was, good morning, Laurie. Writing a book was far from what I didn't even envision. And how that process happened for me to write the book, when I was at a seminar, and this is going back about 6 years ago here in Toronto. The seminar was in Toronto, and the host of the event, he was going to have Les Brown come on. Now, I didn't even know what was going to happen and how everything, because everything in life, we are planting the seeds along the way for our future success, whether you're a real estate investor, whether you are a health and fitness coach, does not matter your endeavors, but we are all planting seeds as to what is going to germinate for the future to unravel. So Les Brown comes on, and immediately I go to the back of the room and I'm signing up for his program. So I'm working now with Les Brown. So as Dr. Michaels mentioned, I have a book, From Cocoon to CEO, Living the Life of Your Dreams. And it is my backstory as to how my life really unfolded. I was in that cocoon. I was in the shell.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Lauren.
I'm back. Keep going.
Yeah, so I was in the shell and my whole life being sheltered. And I wanted to blossom. And how do you are all a caterpillar? You are in that cocoon stage. And how do you blossom into a beautiful butterfly? Well, butterfly has to have wings to fly, to be able to envision the life that she truly wants. So going back to the book, now I'm working with Les Brown.
I almost just called him.
Oh, you did?
I was tempted, but I did that once. And he told me, I don't get up until 9 California time. Right. Cause it's
Oh,
like way early there.
he told you off.
No, we're really good friends. We're really good friends. And
Good.
there's not a mean bone in Les's body. There's not a
No,
mean
it's
bone.
not. No.
Right. So, but let me ask you this. Okay, so that we can kind of set up from cocoon to CEO, because cocoon is when you're inside your shell and you come out.
Yes.
So many different things. How you just from listening to you speak, I think where were you born? Where did you get started? Where did everything begin for you?
Well, that's actually very interesting because a lot of people, when I tell them, they don't believe me. Like, oh my gosh, but you sound, you look a certain way, you sound
I
so.
think you're from Tennessee. You have a southern accent to me.
Oh, I do? Okay,
I'm
so.
kidding. I'm kidding. You do not. You
Right.
sound like you're from Europe, like England or someplace.
Well, my birthplace, I was born in Uganda, East Africa. That was my birthplace.
Really?
Exactly, really. That's a reaction I get from so many people that I talk to on a daily basis. And
I didn't even know there was an East Africa.
well, there's West and there's East. I was born in Kampala.
So how did that happen? I mean, keep going. Were your
Right.
parents working there? Are they from there?
Yes. So my mother, her parents were working in Africa. Her father, my grandfather, he was a principal in a school in Africa.
Okay.
My mother, that's where she taught. She taught in the school where my grandfather taught because he was a principal and she was a teacher. And
At the same time.
yeah, they were working.
Wow.
They were working in the same school. Yeah. And then my father is from India. Then he came to Africa. He was working. He's a doctor. And so then I was born. So I was born in Africa.
Nice. Now, do you have siblings?
Yes, I do. I have one brother. He's in the UK.
You
So
have
most of my family now, Lauren, they're in the UK. I have
okay.
all my extended family.
So did you grow up in the UK at all? To spend
Yes, I
time
did.
there?
Yes, I did.
So
I grew up in
there
the
is
UK. Yes.
okay. So that's what we're hearing. Okay.
Good.
So what prompted you to move to Canada?
Well, it was that transition in life. I met my husband, my ex now. So we met in the UK, and the rest was history. Then he's Canadian, and
Where,
that's
where
what
do you
happened.
like better, the UK or
Lauren, I
Canada?
like both. Canada, I love in the summer times. It's absolutely beautiful. There's so much to do.
In the
Winter,
winter?
not so much.
That's like Chicago. You'd probably do well here. Yeah.
But yeah.
So let me ask you this. I was, okay, peeking all around, all up inside your social media, and I
Mhm.
noticed that you go to a lot of events and things like that.
I
And
do.
so and talk about that. Now you're a real estate investor. But what is it that draws you to do all this networking and going to all of these events? What are you searching for? And do you speak at these places? Or is that something you do as well?
Yes, I do. Actually, I just came back last weekend and I was speaking in San Antonio, Texas. I was speaking
Oh,
at Sticker Shock and I met my good friend. Now he's my good friend because, at that event, and that's a great question. So when I go to networking events, or even when I'm speaking or not speaking, I like to connect with people and I love connections. I love because people is where the money's at. So we all need to go out there. We all need to network and get to know people because as entrepreneurs, it is lonely at the top. We know that. But how you can be around people. So for me, Lauren, I love the connection. I love meeting people. So I was just speaking last weekend in San Antonio. I absolutely loved it. Got to me. It was just a great energy in the room, and and I was speaking. So for me, I love the energy and I love the vibe when I go to any events. So for me, it's all about meeting people, the right connection, because your connection, you are only one step away from that connection.
that's correct. That's correct. So when you speak, let's take last week, last weekend,
Yes.
for example. Um, what is it that is it mainly about the book, or what is it that people bring you in to address? What is it that you serve the audience through? What portal?
Yes. So last week I was speaking on empowerment, and I'm
Mm.
also, empowering women to really. So this is another one of my passions is to empower women who've gone through adversities. You've gone through a broken relationship, a trauma in your marriage. And so this is what I speak about. This is what I spoke about last weekend is how women can start to live the life of their dreams. As I mentioned in my book, from cocoon to CEO, how I was in that cocoon, I was sheltered, I was in that trauma in my marriage, and how slowly I began to repair my life because it's all about when you are facing adversities, Lauren. You, sh- I did not. It would have been easy for me to just give up on my life. It would have been easy for me to just crawl in that cocoon back again
Well,
and die,
okay,
but
perfect.
I didn't want to.
You said the perfect thing as I was reaching for my scissors. Let's do this. I'm cutting a doorway in the cocoon.
Hmm.
Please part it and let us crawl in there with you. So, what I'm
Okay.
asking you to
Right.
do is take us inside your cocoon. So, when you say, I was in this relationship, blah, 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 are you comfortable kind of sharing what it was like? Now, let's close the cocoon and zip it back up. So, now take us back. We're time traveling, so to speak, to let's say when you thought you were at your lowest. And notice I said thought because clearly you weren't, because and you might have been, but it wasn't the end all, because here you are. So when you thought, okay, this is it, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I don't know how to get back up, what was it? What did you hear, or what aroma was on the wind? What was it that you reached for and it reached back, and here you are? Take us
Uh-huh.
inside. Take us inside.
Absolutely. So that defining moment for me was, as I just mentioned, we should never accept, and I did not want to accept. So when I, reached out to, okay, what was
So
my purpose?
So when you were in there, what was it? Were you trying to get away from something? Or because, it was, we have all kinds of relationships and women. A lot of women are in relationships that aren't serving them. They may be verbally abused, emotionally abused,
Mhm.
financially abused, whatever it is. Um, and a lot of them won't leave. A lot of women won't leave, or they feel like what am I going to do? Who's going to support me? This, that, and
Right,
the other. What lane were you in? Why did you, because you took us back to that's really was a low point and you needed change. So
right,
so what did you hear? Who did you talk to? What was it that helped you pull yourself up and out?
right. So when I was in that cocoon, and I was in the cocoon like when I was a teenager, I was in the cocoon in my marriage.
Oh,
And when I say I was in a cocoon, even in my marriage, I was isolated from the entire family. I was not allowed to be a part when family or friends came over. I was isolated. And if you can just imagine how that truly felt, and I was alone here in Canada
what do you
when
mean
that
allowed?
I
When you
was
say I
not.
wasn't allowed?
Yeah, I couldn't be with the friends and family. I was told to go upstairs, and I was upstairs. Well, everyone else was mingling, but I was not allowed to. So that's again,
Go to
Lauren.
your room.
Essentially, it was like that. Go your room. So again, I was in that cocoon, and the defining moment came when I said, enough is enough. I'm in control now. And as you said, Lauren, is what I thought. Because what I thought, I couldn't even imagine what was to happen. So what happened? What was that defining moment for me? Most women are not strong. I agree with that. They're not strong. They stay in those relationships. But for me, I took a beating for the past 5 years when I was in the marriage. And what was that defining moment for me was when my nephew, he passed away. He was 22. He passed away in the UK.
Hmm.
And I didn't want to go to the funeral. So I told my ex that I don't think I want to go, but I had two small kids at that time. And he goes, "Oh, I think you should." So again, I didn't think as to what was to happen, what was to unfold, what was to unravel before me. So now I go to the UK, and now I arrive back to Toronto. As the taxi pulls in the driveway, it was a cold, cold evening. As I stepped out of the taxi, the wind was blowing in the air. It was a cold night, and I had chills. And my ex comes up into the driveway, his arms open wide, and says, "You are no longer welcomed in your matrimonial home." My world turned upside down. My world came crumbling down at that moment. And I was in a tailspin. My world was just spinning. I turned around, walked back into the taxi. From that day on, Lauren, I was to change my life.
Sounds like one of those narcissistic
Yeah.
relationships where and,
Yes.
and and we find that I find that so interesting because somehow I just automatically know that you were successful. You were successful in business and stuff, and people would not think if they saw you in your work world that this could be what was going on in your personal world, like two different women.
Right.
You know, here you go to work and you're respected and you're successful and people assume she's got it all together. Boom, boom, boom. No idea that something like this is going on right around the corner.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. We're going to take just a short break. And when we come back, I want to get into that conversation, the narrative, how you were able to change the narrative, starting with when you got back inside the taxi and the door shut and the taxi was driving away. I have a feeling you couldn't help but look back at the home because you're in shock. But I believe that's probably where the healing began, in that very moment.
Absolutely.
So this person most likely did you a favor, right? Okay, listen, we're going to get into that. Lot of story, a lot of show still ahead of us. A great time to share the broadcast out. We'll be back in just about 2 minutes. Don't you dare go away. We'll be right back.
My name is Dr. Kent Mercado, and I'm running for Congress. For the past 25 years, I've served the 11th District as a physician, an attorney, and a humanitarian. I'm running for Congress to have a larger impact and to bring your voice to Washington. I've visited every county in the district, and I've met with thousands of people, listening and learning from them about their concerns. I found that family values and kitchen table issues are what's most important. So we need to reignite the economy, improve our educational system, ensure the safety of our communities, provide access to affordable physical and mental health care, and of course, support our farmers. I'm Dr. Kent Mercado, and I'm running for Congress to be your voice. Together, we can make sustainable solutions for our nation.
Because now I know when something happens in our lives that is unexpected, you have to go into it in order to ever have any hope of coming through it. So when you go, guess what? When you come out the other side, you grow.
Brought out more in me than I thought that I didn't even know that I had.
That has given all of us a great hope for what we can do with our own messages, our abilities to deliver, but most importantly, to deliver it in an authentic and very, very intriguing way.
Have you ever been in something or felt something where the only way you felt you could deal with it was to leave, get away? I thought that was the meaning of control. It took me 4.5 years to stop looking around the room of my life, of my journey, of my purpose, digging in cushions for a remote that never existed. Looking, re-looking, going back and upgrading, bringing in and pulling out things that do not serve you must go. Those things out in this world that are designed to bring us down, to keep us down, put their foot on our neck and whisper to us that we're never good enough, they don't whisper. They yell at us from all directions, top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, side to side, corner to corner, and corner to corner, 365 days. When somebody asks you about yourself, don't you dare whisper. When they ask you to raise your hand, don't you dare half raise it. When they ask you something good about you, you scream it with all you have. Come on now, get up, get up. Tell me who you are. Show me who you are. Greatest truth of all, that not everyone has to remain lost. Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, your host. And before we get our great guest back in to pick up on this wonderful story, I was almost going to, did I just prophesy? I was going to say Dr. ALKA SHARMA. Something's coming. See that? See how that works? Listen, you guys, couple things on the newsstands as we speak. This is just a little screenshot I took, but we are in it. It is the Los Angeles Tribune magazine. Thank you to David Fagan and his team for helping get us this wonderful story into national press of the Legacy of Hope tour when we went to Romania back in May. So please grab yourself a copy of that. And if you're in the San Diego area, I'll be headed there this coming Monday. Hi, you guys. And I'll be there all the way through Thursday for the RPXP retreat, the Ultimate Business and Health Collective for conscious entrepreneurs and investors. I will be the MC for all 4 of those days. And if you'd like, I think there's 6 slots left. If you want to know how you can meet us out there, get at me and I'll hook you up. So, okay, future doctor, ALKA Sharma.
I do like that, Lauren. I like that.
You like that?
Now. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Maybe
Well,
now it's time for me to get a PhD then.
there you go. There you go. Listen, tell us about what was it like? You had set we set it up before we went on the break. You were getting out of the taxi at your own home, and your ex comes out and says you're not welcome in this house.
Yes.
And you turn around. Where did you tell the taxi driver to take you?
Well, it just so happened, and that is so true. So a part of me looked back because that was my home. That was my home. And
Yeah.
tears were just rolling down my eyes, and I couldn't help but to look back. So I told the taxi, and I had godparents in Toronto. So that's where I went. And I stayed with my godparents until I reclaimed back my life. I regained the confidence, the self-esteem to go out into the world, get a job. So I stayed with my godparents for a long time.
So I don't even know how to frame the question, because I can't even imagine, first of all, someone having the unmitigated gall to do that to another person, but
Right.
to be able to, oh my goodness. Okay. So you're there, you're with your godparents. Okay, what did you learn about yourself that you didn't know? You know what I mean? How did you find that strength that you most likely didn't know you had? How did you do it?
Well, Lauren, it took a long time. It took for me to do a lot of inner work. And as I began to slowly after doing a lot of inner work, knowing who am I and what was my purpose? What was my purpose that I really am looking to do? So as I was, and as you asked me, how did I begin to really change my pathway? How did I really begin to empower myself?
Yeah.
Because empowering yourself doesn't happen like overnight. You got to do the work, especially as women. When we've faced trauma in our lives, it's never easy, but life never is. And for me, life was not easy. And it would have been easy, Lauren. I could have just given up, crumbled, gone back into that cocoon. But I said, no, I have 2 small kids that I was responsible for, to making their lives and to making the life of my own. Right. And so slowly, as I began to work on myself, I began to gain the confidence. I enrolled into a college where, and my godparents were just absolutely amazing. They enrolled me to the college so that I began to pick up on skills, and I took computers applications. And I was so petrified because I didn't know anything about computers and, Excel, PowerPoint, etc.
Right.
But I had to learn. I had to learn. And so that was the first thing that I had to do. And I tell other women, you gotta be knowledgeable. You gotta develop the skill sets And it doesn't matter what skill, it could be a language, but to develop skills so that you can feel empowered. And this is how, Lauren, this is how I did it. I began to feel empowered. I gained back the confidence. I reclaimed back my life. And now life was so exciting that I couldn't wait for what else I had to do in this life.
Mm.
Steps
Oh, I'm loving that. So
that
let
I
let
took.
me ask you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
These were the steps that I took, that I tell other women what you can do, what you have to do.
So with women who focus their work on other women, because a lot of us think, oh, here's another woman that's like, I do this for women. And as a man, sometimes we're like, well, shoot, why do so many women focus just on women? But then when you hear their stories, it's because there are distinct lanes of things that do not serve, that are directed just at women,
Mhm.
i.e., usually from men, but sometimes even from other women. It happens because I'm always interested. As when a woman says, well, I focus on helping women. And I was like, why didn't you just make this available to everyone? Why did you, have an area of
Right.
focus, which
Mhm.
was women? And so what is your take on that? Why did you feel your life's work was leading you to primarily work with women? Because what about helping men not be like your ex? You ever think about that?
Yes, I did. But the reason, and that's a great question, and why I'll focus on women, because women are seen and not heard. Women
Mm,
are the ones who we always have been given the back seat. We've always been, you know, haven't been able to express or to give opinions on what is right or wrong. It doesn't matter, even if it's wrong. We are told, oh, numb it down. You're just here, but you're not going to give us your opinions. So even when I was in my marriage or even my teenage years, I wasn't given the chance to be self-expressive or self-opinionated, and that's why my life was so sheltered and shell-shocked. I was in that cocoon. So I always like to go back to my cocoon because this is where I was, and this is where realistically most women are. And because most women are in that cocoon because they don't know of the way out, whether you're
yeah.
in that relationship. And as you said, Lauren, they go back to that relationship. They go back because they don't know a way out. Because if they did, they would be doing it. And this is why I like to focus and help women to really be that butterfly, because you
Yeah.
are a gorgeous butterfly.
And it's so amazing. Let me just say, amazingly shocking for me anyway, that there are so many women living what you've just described. And we, a lot of us don't even recognize it. uh we don't realize that this stuff is really hiding in plain sight
It is.
still today.
It is, yes.
How you could go to work and
Mhm.
be successful and all this stuff, and no one know that this flip side of what you're dealing with.
Right.
And so why do you think, okay, let's go back to when you were a young girl, let's say the informative years, teenage and this and the other. What outside grooming efforts? Is it the media? Is it generational? For you, I'm seeing, speaking from your own experience, how do you think the road to being ensconced in this cocoon, where did it begin? You know what I'm saying? Where did it start? What age do you think it began where you were starting to be pushed into that corner?
Right. I would say for me especially, it was when I was 15, in my prime, in my teen. And I hated that part of my life, my teenagers, I hated. And I say it very strongly, hated, because I did. If I were to describe my life back then in colors, it would be black, gray.
Really?
It was
Based
dark
on what made
because
it so dark?
Because and the reason why I say I hated being at school is I was bullied. I was bullied every single day of my life. Again, I was in that cocoon. There have been three phases in my life where that cocoon, I was being forced, I was being I was being, you know, three phases in my life. And I didn't know the third phase, which was my marriage, I didn't know that was going to happen. But
Yeah.
starting in my teenage years was my first cocoon that I was faced in, that I was put in, that I was pushed in. And so that's why I say I hated being at school, because, bullies, I was being bullied every single day of my life. And can you just imagine, it was such a traumatic time in my life. As a teenager, I should be enjoying my life, but I hated it. I didn't. I had no friends. I
How
was a lonely
interesting, though.
butterfly.
Yeah,
Mm,
but how interesting that when you went to your godparents from in the cab from the other thing,
right.
the first thing that they pushed you into to help you get back up was school. That place, it's almost like
Please.
going back to the scene of the crime. Oh my
Mm.
God, am I going to be bullied again? Did that cross your mind? Were you a little bit like, school?
Well, there was that apprehensiveness. Yes, I would say, I wouldn't lie. There was that apprehensive. Oh, I have to go back to college. How are people going to treat me? How am I going to be treated? Am I going to be liked? And there's always, those when you have been faced with trauma in your life, you're always going to feel that. You're going to feel apprehensive going to college, but now this is my second lifetime that I had to go to college, because I had to reclaim back my life. And how was I even going to reclaim back my life but to go to college to learn skill sets? So yeah, I was apprehensive, but I made it work, and I tried to fit into people. And and people were great. We had a
Yeah.
great time, and I made it through. So it was surprising. I was apprehensive, but I made it work.
See. A lot of people might have just ran in the opposite direction,
They could have.
because
Yes.
So
Mhm.
what's the thing, Alka? What would you say if you had to pick one thing? I have a feeling there are multiples, but if you had to pick one thing out of the life you live today and say, oh, and here's my favorite part of my life today, the thing
Yes.
I cherish the most, that I'm so glad that I got back up and I stayed up because I would have missed out on fill in the blank.
Well, there are three things.
Okay.
I know you had
So
a
give
feeling
us
it was
all
going to be
three.
multiple,
Yeah.
but there were three things. But the number one that I stand by today, which and I spoke about last weekend, is lead with courage. Courage. Lead with courage. Because you have to, as women, we have to lead with courage. We got to know what is our path. What do we want? What are we aspiring to be and do? And so when I led with courage to get out of the relationship, the courage to reclaim back my life, the courage to stand on my own two feet, which was, you know, difficult, but I had to do it. So I led with courage, and leading with courage, of course, the faith that I had, God was with me the whole time. He was guiding me. But you see, Lauren, what I love is God shows all of us the light. He
Hmm.
shows all of us the way. But it's up to us to go through that light, to go through that vision, to go through that tunnel, and to be able to come out as a beautiful butterfly the other side.
Yeah.
God gives us that, but we have to take it.
There it is. There it is. So, what is it that you feel you still need to do? What kind of things are around that corner known as the future for ALKA SHARMA? Because oftentimes, once we break the spell
Mhm.
of getting through whatever it is, not around it, not over it, and not digging from underneath it, but through it. Because when you get through something, you now are an authority on that something. And the
Mhm.
first thing you want to do is help other people. Exactly how we started this interview. So, what do you feel you still have to do? What kind of things are you reaching for in today's Alka Sharma journey?
Well, my life is, I'm always focusing on, and I've got so many things lined up. But what the number one focus that I have for the future and the vision that I have is empowerment, empowering women. There's a coaching program that'll be coming out, and I want to empower women, especially those who have gone through adversities, because I know what that feels like. I know firsthand what I went through that I want to help you get through. So empowerment, talking on stages about empowerment, talking about how women, what they need to do, how they should be. And that's what makes it so interesting, because I never know as to who I'm going to connect with. I never know as to what's going to happen or unravel in front of me. So empowerment is such a great part of my life right now that I'm just so excited to see how the future, where I'm going to be speaking, who I'm going to be having the pleasure to meet, that I can stand with you, because together as women, we are stronger together, and I will
Oh
not
yeah.
leave you behind. I will be there with you every step of the way. So life is so exciting for me right now, Lauren.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me ask you this. In your travels and when you know how it is after you've spoken or the networking pieces
Mhm.
of different things, just everyday life.
Right.
What goes through your mind when you meet a woman and something inside you tells you she's where I was, but she's acting like she has no, like everything I'm saying, oh, that's someone else, that's not me. But
Mhm.
innately differently because you remember how good you were at hiding it. What How do you deal with that sense of helplessness when you want to help someone so badly, but they're just not ready because it must be their idea?
Right.
We can't change people. We can
Yes. Yes.
encourage them and try to show them how they can change themselves, but it doesn't mean that they're ready. How do you deal with that? Because I know I find that a very, oh, when you feel powerless
Mhm.
to help someone, what do you do with that?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, we all want to help individuals. It doesn't matter what stage you are at that you want to seek the help,
Mhm.
but we want to seek help. And oftentimes we're afraid to ask for that help. And when I'm talking to a woman and the women that I meet, I find out about the story, or they tell me their story, but they don't want the help. And I can't force it.
See?
People will come when they are ready. So I just leave it. Thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate.
Yeah.
But if they're not ready to work with you, you can't force that, because they are ready. Everyone has to be ready in their own time. Like, I was ready to reclaim my life. I was ready to go forward with my life, but I was ready. I wanted to seek help, and I wanted to make better my life. And for most people, they, they're average. They just stay where they are because that's where they feel comfortable, and
Yeah.
that's okay. And that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But people are ready, and they will come to you when they're ready. So I never force it upon anyone.
There you go. There you go. Listen, we're about to wrap this up, but before we do, I don't know if you've ever heard of the show, the Jerry Springer show. Remember
Oh,
Jerry
yes.
Springer? And he used to have the Jerry Springer moment at the end. And so I'd like to give you a Jerry Springer moment. I'm going to actually leave the screen for a moment and just let you speak to that one woman who might feel like she is in that dark space that you mentioned earlier. I think someone's going to watch the replay, and I want to give you this moment to speak directly to her and tell her what you feel you need, that one piece that can perhaps give her what she needs to start cutting herself out of the cocoon she feels she's locked inside of. So take that and close us out that way, if you would.
Okay. Well, thank you, Lauren. I appreciate you. What I will say to to women, my friends who are listening, if you are facing the adversities in your life, if you are in a relationship right now in your marriage that is not serving you and you are worth so much, you need to know, number one, you are worthy. And number two, you are gorgeous and beautiful inside and out. Don't let anyone numb you down. Don't let anyone step on you, because you are meant for greatness. As Les Brown says, you are great and you are meant for greatness. So I want to share with you is lead with courage. Be determined to make your life the best possible and have the willpower to say enough is enough.
I got to unmute because I didn't want to interrupt. I just want to say that was awesome and it was beautiful. It was empowering and it was the truth. And so thank you, ALKA, for all that you're doing and will continue to do. And you're welcome back anytime. We'll keep an eye on you. Where's the best place for people to go to continue the dialogue with you should they choose to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to my website, www.alkasharma.ca, and you can reach me. You can reach me there.
There it is. I'm going to take the liberty of dropping this link inside of your comment section immediately here in a minute when we conclude today's broadcast. Please use it. And if it may not even be you, you may not be that woman that you've heard so much about today, but you may know her. If you do, be of service, because the way that we help others is the way that the help will find us when we are the ones who need it. Listen, get out of here, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful rest of your day. Keep seeking your highest self in all things in this day. Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, one of my favorites. So just remember, get through today. And tomorrow will be waiting for you, and all that is meant for you will be waiting as well. Listen, I will see you Monday morning, God willing, right over there on the front porch, where together we will create another divine moment in time. And I love you guys. I tell you that every day, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Get out of here. Find your highest self.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. Everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind.